Hello and welcome to Tonalist Paintings by M. Francis McCarthy. This is M. Francis McCarthy, and you are joining me on Tuesday, the 19th of January in the year of our Lord 2016. And we are doing a study today. The name of the study is Breaking Twilight 5x7, and you'll have to forgive that it's so far zoomed out because this was from January of 2014, and it is right around the time I just started videotaping. So, and actually this gives you, I guess, a little more sense of my space, at least at that time. It hasn't changed much, at least the desk hasn't, but several other things have, like I'm not using printed reference anymore. I'm using a large digital monitor, and I'm not using that particular easel at the moment either. I'm using a different one, but I go back and forth. Sometimes I use that one. Who knows, maybe it'd be good to change with this next batch I'm going to do. But anyway, this particular little painting, I still have this 5x7. It's actually hanging in my bathroom at my house, so I look at it every day when I am going to the bathroom, at least when I'm standing up going to the bathroom, and I like it. I had also done a, this actually was originally titled Twilight Breaking, or is it is Breaking Twilight, but I believe, anyway, I'll get around to it. I did the 8x10 version of this. A lady came into my studio and basically bought it right off the easel, and that's not something I have done before, but I've learned when people are interested in buying something, that the time to sell it to them is then. So what I did was I went ahead and sold her that one, and basically did another painting, which we'll maybe get into that when we're talking about the 8x10, which will be coming up on Saturday. So anyway, I still have the 5x7 though, and I really like this painting, and I don't love everything about it, but I like quite a lot about it, and it is a very pretty, I don't want to say very, it was a pretty good attempt at sort of an alla prima approach, and in that I did the 5x7 pretty much in one go, and I'm pretty happy with it. I did work on it quite a lot though, I would say. These days, if I know I'm going to contemplate a second pass, there's things I won't do or try to do wet on wet, which is, when you paint that way, it's called alla prima. Anyway, I'm pretty happy with this, and I thought it would be cool to put up something from January of 2 years ago. So that's the neat thing about the videotaping, is that it really gives me a chance to kind of see how I've changed and progressed, and or gone the opposite direction. That's always debatable. I think I'm progressing, but I'm fairly happy with the rate I'm progressing. I will say that one of the ways I've progressed is that I do less paintings that I don't like. And this latest pass I'm working on, I'm pretty happy with all of them. And I think one of the reasons for that is there was a couple one I just bailed on completely, and another basically I just destroyed it because it wasn't working out. It was a bad idea, and I hadn't been listening to myself. We talked about that already, so I won't bore you with that again. But I think what I will talk about, since what I'm doing in the studio right now is I've got this pass of about 16 paintings now, and I've done the drawing pass, first color pass, second color pass, and Monday I walked in, I was thinking, okay, let's get these together. We're gonna do some photography, but I still saw little things I felt needed to be brought into line, and there's a phenomenon which maybe I'll talk about in the blog post where you see it, and you just tell yourself a little. It's not a lie, really. You just say, well, that's what it is. I can't do anything about it. And sometimes that is absolutely true. I mean, we're all limited by who we are and what we are and how we paint and our ability to paint and our level of experience and a million other limiting factors. So that's the one thing we all have in common as artists, is that we have limitations, and we're going to be faced with those, especially if we're trying to expand and progress, But I've talked about this on the blog before, and I will probably be talking about this until the day I die. Painting is not just a conscious activity, it's a marriage between the unconscious, or I don't even want to call it unconscious, let's call it the superconscious mind, which you may not be aware of from an intellectual standpoint, and the intellectual mind, which is often referred to as the ego, or whatever you want to call it. That mind is saying, okay, I'm going to pick up the brush, okay, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. But what's feeding that is the superconscious, okay? The superconscious is the one that says, hey, we need some orange here, or hey, do you really need that second tree, or hey, da 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 da, or it's not even saying things, you're just, there painting and things are happening, and the ego is not in charge of every single brush stroke that goes on. The ego sets parameters, though. I mean, you can't paint without it. You can't paint without the intellect. You'd have no reason to paint anyway. But that creative essence, or the superconscious, or whatever you want to call it, is really the driver, really the engine of what's happening. And so I like to think of it that way, and that the ego is setting the parameters. The ego might say, well, I don't like using this color, I use this color because it mixes and matches with this color, and there's a certain chemical reaction, and blah blah blah, whatever your rationale is. Or I've tried that before and it doesn't work, da, 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 da. There's a place for that, and that's one of the ways you actually do get better. But I think the best things you do, once you hit a certain level, they are going to be really good forever. So the point is to maybe do less dogs, right? That's progression. And to follow that, inner guidance, and to get better and better at achieving that in your work. Anyway, you can see we're getting close to the end here, or we're at the end, so thanks for joining me Tuesday, January 19th. For Tonalist Paintings by M. Francis McCarthy. Hey, go to my site, which is landscapepainter.co.nz, and check out my work. And you can also follow the blog there. See ya Saturday.